If you are planning to get into tech and do not have any tech degree or experience, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I think is the most effective way to get into tech and land a job in 6 to 8 months. But before I go into that, let me first talk about what I think is the most important benefit of getting into tech. And should you really consider getting into tech in 2024 when we are expecting AI to automate a lot of tech roles? When we speak about the benefits of being in the tech industry, there are many benefits which we can count. It offers you the possibility of remote work, the work-life balance is great, the office environments in the tech companies are awesome, the job satisfaction rate in tech is much higher, and even in this season of tech layoffs, the unemployment rate in tech is much lower than the national average. But besides all these reasons, what I think is the most important benefit of getting into tech is that this is a profession which pays you really well. The average salary in the US is about $50,000. And regardless of what source you look at, the tech average salary is at least double than this. So you get to earn more than double while your work-life balance is much better. As for the question of will AI replace a lot of these tech roles, I've created a full separate video on this topic. The link should be somewhere here and in the description below. But the gist of this is that when you look at the complexity of programming languages over the period of time, you can clearly see the trend that it is becoming much easier with time. So the same program which would take 25 software engineers in the year 1950 can be written by one person in today's world. So by looking at this, it is very easy to infer that we need much less software engineers today than we would have needed in the year 1950. But that is just not so true. When you look at the number of software engineers over the period of time, they have simply exploded. And there is a very simple explanation for this. As tech becomes more easier, it becomes integrated in more aspects of our lives. And then we need more people to manage and create that infrastructure. And this trend is not going to stop. We will see that more and more aspects of our lives will become automated in the future. And for that, we need many more people in the tech industry. That is why if you look at any forecast, all forecasts project a lot of growth in the tech industry. So if I'm able to convince you that you should really consider starting a career in tech in 2024, let's go back to the main topic of the video. What is the most effective way for you to get into tech and land your first job in 6 to 8 months? Now, when we look at what are the available options for someone to start into tech, there are basically 3 options. Let's go through them one by one. The first, very obvious one is to get a CS degree from a university. I've created a separate video where I did a deep dive and went into the curriculum of a computer science bachelor's degree from a well-reputed US university, and I tried to see what percentage of that curriculum is actually relevant to some tech fields, for example, DevOps, data science, full stack engineer, etc. I'll post the link for that in the description below. But the gist of this is that for most of the roles, at best, the degree curriculum is about 25% relevant. So if it is a 4-year degree, only 1 year is relevant and the rest 3 years not so much relevant. Second aspect which we have to look at is what is the cost of it. An average in-state tuition fee per semester in the US is about $9,000. So when you multiply it by 8 and include other miscellaneous charges, it adds up to about $60,000. Now, I'm not including the interest rate which you have to pay if you are getting a loan for this. I'm not including the boarding and books and etc. and other similar charges. No university in the world provides a money-back guarantee on your CS degree if you are unable to land a job after obtaining that degree. The good thing about a degree is that it provides you a very structured path for learning, and it also provides you ample opportunities for networking. Now, as we have explored the CS degree, let's see what's the other alternative. The other alternative is that of joining a boot camp. If you don't know what is a boot camp is basically this is a fast track way of getting into tech. Since the entire curriculum is designed towards a specific job role, we can consider that whatever they are teaching is almost fully relevant. Cost of these boot camps for 3 to 6 months period is pretty high. It's about $15,000 on average. But when you compare it against the CS degree, it is still relatively cheaper. And the best part is these boot camps, they offer you a money back guarantee if you do not find a relevant job in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, not all boot camps offer this guarantee, and even the ones which offer it comes with a lot of conditions. So be very mindful of selecting a bootcamp based on this guarantee. Just like a CS degree, a bootcamp, especially the ones which are in person, offer you plenty of opportunities for structured learning as well as networking. It's just that it is through a shorter period of time as compared to a 4-year degree. And the last option you have is that of self-study. Now, since you'll be learning on your own, the relevance of what you study would at best be about 50% related to the tech role you're trying to land. Since you're learning on your own, it doesn't really cost you much. There is no job guarantee, there is no structured path of learning, and there is no networking opportunity. So by looking at these three options, the one recommendation which I would give to you is that you enroll in a bootcamp which offers a money-back guarantee and also has in-person classes to kickstart your learning to get into tech. Now, in terms of finding a good bootcamp, I would highly suggest that you read a lot of reviews by real people about the bootcamps. You find a bootcamp which you can attend in person so that you do not miss out on plenty of networking opportunities which these bootcamps offer. And also find a bootcamp which offers some sort of money back guarantee. But as I said before, do read the fine print before you sign anything. Once you have selected the bootcamp, the next step would be to pick the field of study. Now this sounds very counterintuitive because a lot of people first decide on the field, for example, cybersecurity or data science or DevOps or whatever, and then they find the bootcamp. But I am here that you flip the order, that you find a good bootcamp first, and then whatever options that bootcamp offer, you pick the one which aligns well with your interests, have a good growth rate, and also offers good salary. You can have a discussion with the bootcamp coordinators to find out that what are the job placement rates for different programs they are offering. And the reason I recommend finding a bootcamp first and then picking the field later is that most of these tech roles, they have much more in common than you would expect. So transitioning from one role to another later down the stage is not as big of a problem as you might think. So that's why find a good bootcamp first, which offers a good chance of you landing your first job in the minimum amount of time first, and then within the options of programs they offer, you select one course. Once you have picked the field, the next step, which is sort of optional, is that find some good credible certifications which are aligned with the field of study. The reason I've added this step is that one of the things you would be lacking when you graduate from this bootcamp and applying against a lot of other CS big university graduates is that you won't have as much credentials in your resume as other people might have. And the best way for you to offset that competitive edge is by getting some good credible certifications. Make sure that the certification you are getting are coming from a trusted brand name and they have a proctored exam, because without these two components, those certifications won't have much worth. And the last tip which I'll give you is that once you have done all these three, go all in into this tech learning journey. Getting a job in today's tough tech job market is not easy. Anyone who is doing it on a half-hearted basis will be weeded out, and only people who are 100% committed will eventually land successful on the other side. The tough times like these are nature's way of weeding out people who are not competent enough. So if you want to make sure that you land successful on the other side and have a thriving tech career, then you have to be fully committed with these learning programs. Once you have successfully graduated from this bootcamp, the next step is finding a good tech role for you. I've created a separate video on the topic on how you can stand out in today's competitive tech job market as an applicant. The link for that should be somewhere here. Please check it out. Thank you so much for watching.